friends, how are you doing? It's Thursday again, and we're heading towards the weekend. And as we're going closer to the weekend, I want to start today with talking about something a little different. Everybody's on summer vacation. I can see you all on Facebook. I can see you all throughout the social media. What I wanted to talk about today is this summertime, the time that we're at home and the end of the day arrives and we're sitting down in a nice dinner in a restaurant or at home, and there's nothing better than opening a great bottle of wine to accommodate that dinner. One of the things that we're doing in the Sinai Connection is trying to figure out ways to bring it close to you, to bring it to you as it is. So today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to meet with one of our very good friends and talk about wine today. So let's begin. A little short logo, and we're on. Hey, and we're back. Hi, for those who don't know me, I'm Ron Sinai. I've been doing this business in tourism for the last 3 decades. I've been involved in the Israeli tourism industry, and that's this year, due to this pandemic, I've established and founded the Sinai Connection, which enables people around the world to invest in Israel, whether in real estate, high tech, charity, and much more. Your gateway to the country is through the Sinai Connection. Today, we're going to talk about wine. So let's go. So in order to start our day today in this conversation, I want to have us join in Yoav. Yoav is a close friend and a partner. He's a wine specialist and an Israel specialist above everything else. I do want to invite him. Yoav, are you here with us?
Shalom, shalom.
How are you? Are you looking
Very
good?
good. Trying,
Yeah, in this business, it took us time before we got the chance to meet each other. As we all know, tourism is still off, which gives us a lot of time to actually spend with family and friends and to enhance our knowledge in whatever we're doing and in all our loves. So, Yoav, I got you here today because I really want to talk to you a little bit about the wine industry and about Israel. How these two things combine?
Wow. The story actually starts about 6,500 years ago. That's not my story. It's the story of wine in this land. The oldest wine press that has been found in the northern part of Israel, the Jezreel Valley. And from then, basically, we have elements of ruins and stuff connected to winemaking throughout all the periods of time, mainly through the biblical time, First Temple time, Old Testament, and Second Temple time. Definitely a lot of wine was made here and was exported from here, actually. We have a time period during the 4th century that the wine from the Judean hills, the area of Jerusalem, becomes the best wine in the Roman world, actually. And that's something that we have documents about. The wine of Gaza and Ashkelon, these were the ports where the wine from the hills of Judea were exported towards Europe and Rome. So basically, it's a long story of relationship.
Well, let's stop this story for a second. Let's talk a little bit about you because people don't know you yet. So,
Yes.
Yoav, tell us a little bit about who you are. Where are you coming from?
I'm a native Israeli. I was born in the northern part of Israel in a small kibbutz next to the border with Syria. I grew up there, had a wonderful life. I joined the army. And after my army service, I started basically guiding with a big passion to the land and the state of Israel. I loved sharing it with people, and I do it until today.
So what got you to the wine industry?
And about 10 years ago, even before I started as a student, everyone starts with a supermarket wine. And then I realized, it's interesting. There's a story over here. Wine tells the story of the land, of the people who makes it, and it became fascinating for me. So I started basically going around Israel and interviewing winemakers, and I went into professional studies with the Ministry of Tourism, but later on also in the past 2 years working in wineries with vineyards and making a very professional course of the WSET Institute Level 3, which gave me a lot of background and wider understanding of the wine world.
So if you've been doing that for that long and you know that much, please, I do want to know, and I love wine, and as you know, we are doing a lot of work together in enjoying wine and tasting it. Uh, but what does that has to do with Israel? I mean, yes, you gave me the base of the history of the wine, but modern time, I still know that when we're talking to people that are not in Israel, that they still have this feel that, oh, Israel, it's all about Manischewitz. What wine comes out of
Yeah.
Israel? Take us through what happened in the last 20, 30 years in the country.
I'll try to make it short because the wine industry has a big pause during the Islamic rule over the land, and when Jews starting to remaking wine at the end of the 19th century, it will be mostly for the liquid, mostly for kiddush and stuff like Ron you mentioned. But a bit more than 30 years ago, in the Golan, we have professors from the Davis University coming and telling the people over there that they have an amazing weather and wonderful land to plant good and quality vineyards for good and quality wine. And the Golan Heights wineries was planted, and together with them, and a bit after they started at the beginning of the 80s, toward the end of the 80s, we have the beginning of little boutique wineries in Israel. This actually brings the industry to a long period of time of studying and testing and making good wine, but always learning. And until today, not by coincidence, long traditions creates good products like in Europe. Here, we're still in the beginning, but we have very good results. And Israeli wine
results. I do want to say a little bit out of my knowledge. I know several wineries. Israel is rocketing in the amount of gold medals receiving in major wine competitions around the world. With very short tradition of wine in the country, we actually managed to produce phenomenal wine, and that's what I wanted you to show us. What you brought with us to you.
So basically, this is. With the short period of tradition, this will be one of the flagship wines of Israel, Yarden, by the Golan Heights wineries. This wine can be kept in a wine cellar for many years. It's a very heavy wine, full body. That it's kind of like a status. If you to have it, it's not easy to put your hands on a bottle like that, expensive. But together with the heavy and full body, because of the heat, in up until 10 years ago, what was longer in the barrel was more, was better considered by Israelis. We are witnessing an amazing wave of new winemakers and wine in Israel that is talking about one main thing: drinkability. We are in the Middle East. It's warm weather. We're sitting by the sea, we're close to the sea. What can you have on a warm, sunny night? After a sunny day, you need something lighter, something easy to drink, and the world actually is looking for that. So together with these heavy wines, we have, for example, this is a new brand of the Castel winery. They have the Raziel, and this is a brand that tried to take the Mediterranean varieties of Syrah and others and make a more or different wine that can be more drinkable, more ready for now. One of the things that I have to say, and I know some people like it, some people don't really see it yet, what is making a big revolution in Israel is white wine. I remember that when I was a student, white wine was not considered ever. You can't drink Israeli white wine back, more than 10 years ago. And today, the white Israeli wine is making amazing performance, and mainly from the Judean hills. Some wineries like Tzorah and their Shoresh wine, and even Castel and Flam, and some small wineries like Suson Yam, Seahorse. These wineries in the Judean hills are creating a amazing, stable, very, very high quality wine, together with young winemakers, some people that are less famous, like Amit Toledo, that I know personally, and some others, making wine that is lighter, giving more the language of the land where it comes from. A girl named Lital Ovadia, she has a winery, small winery called Tel in the northern part of the Golan, and she makes wine only from there, and from unique varieties of wine. And this is an amazing revolution, again, from very heavy, which still being made, and a lot of people like it, with a good steak and everything, to a wine that you can have every night, every day, which you will really enjoy, just sitting and having a glass of wine, or maybe half a bottle together with someone.
I think that this is one of the most amazing things about it. I think that I feel this change as time goes by, as the future of the wine industry. At the beginning, it all started with really trying to cope with the world. I don't know if it's demand, but the will to be part of the heavy traditional winemaking of the world. And slowly, Israel is trying to create its own, how would I call it? Identity and character on its wines, in combined with the atmosphere and the weather and the population, these Middle Eastern very hot countries. I think that this can go very nice, and the future is actually there. I think that I've emptied my wine cellar this year from the heavy wines, and I find myself again and again and again getting to buy light wines that I can actually drink and not wait with them until God knows what and what situation is going to happen just to use this specific bottle of wine.
That's the main key.
Exactly. Enjoying wine. One wine connoisseur once told me, good wine is a wine you like, but you have to taste it in order to like it. If you don't drink it, then it's just in a bottle. Exactly. Great investment, but I don't want it. I want to drink wine. So I think that this was an amazing take. I do urge you all drink wine, predominantly Israeli wine, because it's amazing, and we have a whole lot of it. Yoav, I do want to thank you for coming here tonight. I do want to let you all know that in this case, we have a long and strong connections with a lot of winemakers and wineries in Israel. Thank you, Yoav. I'm going to sum it up by inviting you all to our website to see what we do and how we're doing things. And with this notion, please come in. We do have our living room wine as a way to bring the wine into your homes. This was a little bit of touch into these things. I do want you all to remember that in order to give you the ability to stay in touch with the country throughout the year, you can always use our site on www.thesinaiconnection.com. I would love to connect with you and to give you whatever wishes and dreams you have regarding to Israel, even if it's just a nice bottle of wine. So let's stay connected and have a great weekend. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.